Welcome to Vice Grip Garage, part one of, well, there's a couple more parts coming. There's a lot going on and we got to get it all, you know. I'm not a big fan of the 72 part series, but I'll try to keep it reasonable for you. I've partnered with Rough Country, if you didn't already know, and we're going to lift on beats and we're going to take her all the way up. We got the 6-inch lift for this bad boy, and then we got some really nice tires and wheels to throw under, because you can't lift nothing without putting new diggers on it, and that'll help a guy when I'm pulling stuff out of a tree row in reverse at 65. You got to bite the earth, otherwise you're just wasting time. I used to really be into off-road rigs, and I lifted about everything I had for about 10 years there, and then guy got out of it and went the opposite way, so I'm actually really excited to get back into lifting again. And this is the first IFS, or independent front suspension lift, I've done. I've normally done the spring lifts and whatnot, so this is going to be new for me, but the instructions are good enough. I think we're gonna pull her through. And if you're wondering why I picked Rough Country, well, I've used their lift, I can't even count how many times before, and it's always been great quality, awesome fitment, and great value. I mean, just about any feller can afford it, so it made sense that I called them up again, and here we go. So let's see what we can get done today for part one, and we'll go from there. There's just leaves blowing in here everywhere. Step one, of course, is we're just going to let the angles dangle. Hope my jack goes high enough. I don't think it will, actually. Nope. Start over. You got to go under the lower control arms. And I bet you the instructions probably say that. Step one of the constructions here is take the tires and wheels off, so Bradley's doing that for me. Reminder to use the right jack stands, not the light duty ones. And then while I was underneath, I took my liquid wrench and sprayed the torsion keys and also the transfer case cross member, because I know I'm going to be playing with that later, so might as well oil that up. And looks like the next step is the torsion keys. I gotta show you this. Brad got the tires and wheels off, and I was throwing some rust buster on all the nuts. Look at the brake line in here. I just cannot believe that that's not leaking. I just pulled a trailer with this to Wisconsin last night, and somehow that's hanging in there, and then the other side ain't any better. So I guess we're going to be doing some brake lines while we're up here. And that one's hitting the boot, looks like. Not sure why those are all bent up. But we'll toss those on too, I guess, before we're done. I'm glad I caught them. Moses sandals. This is your standard issue torsion bar, unloader, upper downer tool thingy. And what this will do is apply pressure on the torsion key so you can get the bolt and bracket out, and then you can slowly back this down, and that brings the pressure off your torsion bar, and then you can slide them forward and get that unhooked on the lower control arm. So we'll just ease this down a bit, and you can see that's loose, and then we'll back this up. Like that. This bracket comes out, and then we'll release the pressure here. The old exhaust is hanging. There we go. There. Now these keys don't have any pressure and I should be able to drive them forward. Well, as luck would have her, I'm still stuck on step one, which is get the torsion bars unhooked. Thanks to old Minnesota, that ain't happening. So I'm going to continue forward, and what my hope is when I get that lower control arm just hanging there, I can rock that back and forth and try to break that torsion bar free. And if that doesn't work, then I'll get the heat out and then we'll drive that forward. But that ain't going to stop us from, moving forward. They can hang there on them torsion bars, that's fine. So next step is tie rod ends. That's easy. 19 millimeter, zing them off, and then take your larger Tanya Harding and just give her a wrap and they'll come loose. Something like that. There she goes. Well, this is a step where a guy normally just takes off the caliper here, the brake line bracket, and then kind of swings everything out of the way. But since my line is shot, I got an extra step. I'm going to go ahead and pop a new line in, which is just this extra fitting up here. And trick there, if the nut isn't riding on the brake line and you're about to snap the old brake line, we've all been there, just hit her with a little bit of heat. And then some liquid wrench or whatever you like to use. Let it soak in, then work it back and forth, and it'll eventually break loose where that nut will start riding on the line for a guy. And then these take the 3/8 Allen key, and if you just have an Allen wrench and you don't have a socket, you can do what I did, which is just snip one off and weld it into an old socket. Then they fit in here nice. Alright, get some. Well, I got the brake lines put on both sides here, and I did the right thing and just zip tied up the caliper over here. Whatever you got, coat hanger. Just try not to hang her off the old brake line, because apparently it's not good for them. Next thing to do is a CV joint nut here, and that's 35 non-American meters. Boom. Well, the construction say it's time to get the knuckle off here, and I guess I got a couple tips I could pass on to a feller, and that's if your ball joint shaft is spinning, you're trying to get the nut off, just get a jack under here and put some pressure on her, and that'll ease that nut off. And CV joint can be a bugger sometimes, or kind of seized in there, so hit her with your hammer, and if that don't work, hit it with some heat. And if that don't work, just put your nut back on it a little bit and then hit her with a bigger hammer. And that'll save you from marring up your threads here. But I'm thinking this one's going to come off not so badder. Yeah, see, that already broke loose. That's loose. So walk my nuts off and she should come right out. Bring on it. Bring on it some more. That's good. Whoa, shut her down. Alright. There. She just needed just a tickle on here. Easy. Easy. Faster but easier. Good job, Bradley. This could be a little bit of a dance of downer, outer, upper, downer, inner, and so forth. But basically you want to put your kneecaps right below this because it's heavy. And then get your hammer ready. And then you just kind of, finesse it around. And then, use this as a pry bar. Don't even need to go to the doctor. A guy could check his own reflexes on the knee. Oh, she's feeling pretty ready. There we go. like a baby. Come on now. I'm gonna name you Fred. Well, according to the Christopher Columbus here, it's time to take the shocks off. And I know from experience, that's just 18mm socket and wrench, and bang bang, those will be out. Then it's about to get serious. Great. Where's my socket wrench at? Dang it. Well, this particular nut is Minnesota on here, so I'm going to try to clean it up a little bit, and then we'll progressively take steps. A little go juice. Yeah, get off of there. This. Like that. Now I like to, ouch, right on the kneecap. And put this on. Ow. Ooh, got it. Come on now. Let's go this way. Put it on this side. And then I can trick it. Well, what in tarnation? Maybe this will work. I'm going to try to teach it a lesson with the vice grip here. And of course, you got to put those on so tight that it ruins your life getting them off. Nope, that just made it worse. Great. What is on this? I think it's time to get the gas axe out. Which, that's just fine. Well, that made a quick work of that. Whoop. Little fire, it's fine. There, now a guy could just beat that out with a punch and that shock will come right out. Alright, get on out of there. There we go. Onto the upper control arm here. Remember earlier when I did the right thing and just zip tied it to the upper control arm? Well, a guy needs to take that out. So go ahead and don't do that. Instead I zip tied her over here. Maybe that's the right thing. This is pretty easy. It's just, what is this guy? 21mm. And then beat the bolts out each side and this should come right off. Get over here. Yeah. Sway bar end link. Take the bottom nut off and then I just zip the old top bolt off because these are always stuck together and well, you're going to fight them more than they're worth. I'm not sure if these come in a kit or not, but if not, you can snip down to the hardware store and snag on some because they're really cheap and I don't know, it's just faster this way. Get out of there. Onto the CV axle here. And the old directions say to use a ratchet wrench, but yeah, just gonna get this guy in there. That's much easier. Okay. Ooh, got a little melty on the boot. That's all right. Lower control arm. That's 24mm. This one's really easy to get to, and then the front, you just snip through the front there, and hopefully these will come right out. Get out of there. Get out. Get out of there. Thanks. Where'd you go? Oh, she ejected into the old driveway. That's fine. Hip. Whoa. Guys spend more time getting this torsion bar and lower control arm out on the driver's side than I have doing the whole lift so far, so be prepared for that. The old constructions say take a punch and just tap them out of there, and new. So I'm going to do the other one now, and I guess I'll kind of show you, and fingers crossed it works like this one did, but it won't. I'm sure it won't. I just maneuvered the lower control arm to where it wasn't into the brackets, and then about 35 swings of the sledgehammer, and she popped loose. There we go. Drive shafts out, that was easy. But on the way up, I murdered my back in 6 countries on this tow bar here, and I'm tired of it. I got a scrap guy coming soon. I'm just gonna zing this thing off because I've hit my head and ear and teeth and face and back and spine and hip and leg and shin and knee and about everything else on there, and I'm just tired of the thing. I already zinged the bolts off, but of course they Zeused her down the frame, and my gas axe is out of fuel, but I have a Wu-Tang 2 little plasma torch around here somewhere. I've never used it, so I'm gonna try to put that together, and maybe it'll cut 1/8 of an inch. Probably not, but I'll just keep blowing sparks through there and see if I can get this thing down finally. Okay. Come on now. Jeez, that's a lot heavier than I thought. Oh, got to kneecap this. Gee, what's that? Well, to speed things up a little bit, a guy did a couple things off camera. The biggest one being getting the bump stop bracket off. The directions say use the Sawzall, and that would work just fine, but I had the lightning scissor running from cutting up front here, so I just zip took that off too. Ground it down a little bit, and then I'll hit her with the old, you know, make her black. And you know, the front end rejuvenation spray works good. But the directions anyway say take the bump stop off, because then you can get your Sawzall up to the bottom and take her off. And then I flipped the sway bar forward out of the way, unhooked the steering stabilizer shock, and then the Torsion key cross member, that comes out. 3 bolts on each side, really easy. And now we're to the actual front diff here. Got to get that dropped down. So this here guy is next to come off. You got to take this bolt out and then run your Sawzall. They want this curved bracket to come off. Not this guy, this one will just fall off, but right here they want a Sawzall. I think I'm just going to use my angle grinder with the death wheel and zip, take that right down. Get out of there. There's the bracket. So I went ahead and cut mine first. Then I took the bolt out. Just kind of held her together better to zing zanger. Help me. Help. Passenger side diff bolts. There's 2 of them. 24 millimeter. Do not forget to unplug your 4x4 actuator or your old vent tube up there. You know, guys should probably put some straps around this, or have someone here helping, or use a tranny jack. But I'm gonna do the right thing and just balance it on this here unit and just hang on to her and hope that it doesn't break anything. Easy. Hey, easy. Easy now. You come down easy. Easy. Hey, come on now. Get down here. Hey, don't act up. Just come down. There you go. And I'll just lay her there. That's not so bad. I mean, the units are heavy, so I wouldn't recommend trying to Hulk Hogan them down, because you might get the old brain bucket smashed. Okay. Tie rod's got to come off. And then the old go left, go right selector center link, that's got to come off too. These will sometimes pop right free. You just hit them with the big hammer. But if not, get the old pickle fork on her and that'll break them free. Well, that does it for disassembly. There's quite literally nothing under there. I cleaned up the diff a little bit. There was about 48 tons of dirt on that, mud. And then went ahead and hit her with the old rattle can, and you know, that looks factory now. Much better. Doesn't make any sense to come this far and then not clean it up a little bit. And then I got all the parts laid out down here. This is what the kit contents are. And really good looking product. The welds look fantastic. Nice coating on this. Kind of a rough texture coating. Everything's machined nicely. All the hardware looks great. It's all in different bags. Sorted out for you. More hardware back there. I think I even got his sticker. There's some small stickers. Dealer tags if you're a dealer putting this kit on. Service reminder, check and retighten your wheels. And all the components, 3,000. And probably put that on the old sun visor or something like that. So yeah, that's all the kit contents. Came in 5 total boxes. They're all nicely packed. There was a lot of cushion stuff and material and things in there, so they didn't get all banged up and marred. And they're even labeled right or left, or some of them say passenger, I think, as well. So I mean, honestly, you can't mess this up. I think this one, yeah, P for passenger. So really difficult to mess up, especially with the old instructions. These are really detailed. I mean, they even show you where to put the wrenches and whole 9 yards. Kind of a long day, but not too bad for a guy. We got the whole front end snipped out of this thing, and the only thing that got broken was the sway bar end links, and them are cheap and easy to replace. And might as well do that while we're under there. And if you're not in old Minnesota, probably a lot easier and faster, because everything up here is kind of just hermetically sealed together, because you know, we salt everything, including the air, for whatever reason. And then she had 46.2 tons of mud and dirt caked under the front end, because she's chased cattle most of her life or been towed behind a John Deere. So that didn't help. I was kind of swimming through that. But anywho and how, went pretty good. If you're not subscribed, now's the time to do that. Part 2 is coming up real quick, and we're going to take all those nice new shiny parts and jam them back in here and get the front end back on some tires and wheels, and then we'll move to the back end. Also hit the notification button, and if you've put one of these lifts in, or any lift for that matter, and you have any tips or tricks, bleep bloop them down there in the comment box. I'd really like to hear what you got to say. Thanks guys, see you next time. Oh, getting dizzy.